In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to use the count numbers command in Microsoft Excel. To get started, open Microsoft Excel and create a blank worksheet so you can follow along. The count function is designed to count how many cells in a selected range actually contain numbers. This makes it especially useful when you're working with things like sales totals, scores, quantities, or any other numerical data, and you want a quick count without having to check each cell manually. For this example, enter a simple set of sample data into cells A1 through B6. In the first column, use employee names, and in the second column, use sales values. One row in the sales column should be left blank, so you can clearly see how count behaves. For instance, you might have one employee with 1,200, another with 200, another with a blank sales cell, then 3,000 and 1,500. This setup helps demonstrate that Excel will only count cells containing actual numbers. Once your data is in place, click on an empty cell where you want the result to appear, such as cell B8. In that cell, type the formula equals count, then open parentheses, B2 colon B6, and close the parentheses. After that, press Enter. Excel will return 4 because there are 4 cells in that range that contain numbers. The blank cell is ignored, which is exactly what count is supposed to do. It's also helpful to understand the basic structure of the formula. Count uses the format equals count, followed by value 1, and then optional additional values or ranges. In other words, you can count numbers in one range or across multiple ranges. For example, if your numeric data appears in 2 separate places, you could use a formula like equals count, open parentheses, B2 colon B6, comma, D2 colon D6, close parentheses. Excel will then count all numeric cells across both ranges together. One important thing to keep in mind is the difference between count and COUNTA. Count only counts cells that contain numbers. COUNTA, on the other hand, counts cells that contain any type of data, including text, numbers, and other non-empty entries. So if your goal is to count everything that isn't blank, COUNTA is the better choice. As a final tip, count does not include text, blank cells, or numbers that are stored as text. If a value looks like a number, but Excel has stored it as text, count won't include it. That's why it's always a good idea to check your data formatting if your result seems off. And that's how to use the count function in Microsoft Excel.